Welcome to the Bird Cave, where you need two things. You need one of these, and I know a little something about this. Grab your brew, come on in and talk to the fellas. Let's go. Woo! 31 days away, NFL draft. It's now officially draft season, man. We can move on from all of the shenanigan mock drafts, if you will, and all the other stuff, man. But GB, how are you feeling tonight, man? It's good to be back after a week off. I was down there in the vacation land and in the Orlandos with my newly crowned 21-year-old daughter, and I'm old. How you feel, brother?
When did we become of age to have 21-year-olds? I feel like we just turned 21 like a year ago, and here we are having 21-year-olds. So you ask how I am. I'm a little flabbergasted is probably the best word for it.
Okay.
Dudek, I'm flabbergasted that you have a 21-year-old. Very much so. And I have a 19-year-old as of right now. Like, that just kind of hit me. Yeah. So other than that, man, everything else is great. As you can see, I got my Army fatigues on. It's time to talk strategy and go to war. You know what I mean? Let's go.
Man, listen, hey, before we get into this, man, I got a couple things real quick. Have you ever been, or has anybody been, as people file in here, but has anybody ever been to a Dick's Last Resort restaurant?
I was about to say pause. I didn't know where you was going with this. I ain't never been to Dick's Last Resort. No.
Okay. So it's mostly a Southern thing. So we were down there when we were in Orlando.
But real quick, this is the crazy part because I don't know if people know that you work at Dick's. So I always get confused when you say stuff like this. I'm like, wait, which one is it?
Oh, man, listen, the restaurant.
Okay, got it.
We appreciate you shopping in the stores. It's a themed restaurant, right? Where the staff is rude to you. When you go now, the food is very average, right? But the whole spiel is you go in, like we're sitting there and the waitress comes up and she just throwing menus on the table. Another waitress came, I believe, like a drink or food runner was coming in. She put everybody got their waters first, and then while they were getting the drinks and stuff, she takes the straws and just yeets them onto the table, as the kids say. And then, come back and the wife had a question. She's like, why do you ask so many stupid questions? You know what I mean? It's like, is everybody ready? Oh, we still need a couple minutes. Like, listen, man, I got to get other people in here. I got to make some money. Y'all better hurry the F up. I mean, it's a cool banter back and forth at the Dick's Last Resort, man. I wouldn't suggest taking your kids there, but it's fun. And then they have these paper hats they put on you, and they draw like something on there. She made mine extra tall, drew hanging male genitalia, and just said, "Grab it as you get old." You know what I mean? So it was a really cool fun, man. But yeah, my daughter did not listen to me. I told her because my daughter doesn't drink very much at all. So she wanted to go drink around the world at Epcot, and I said, "Do not start at Mexico. Start at Canada, which is go one way or the other way, right?" Guess where they started? Yep. And by about 12:30, my daughter was like this. She was Jonathan Dwyer, bro.
Margaritas get you,
dude, especially authentic ones.
Yeah,
like the real tequila like you get in Mexico, man. Down in Epcot. So,
hell yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, good to see you as well, Mark. Thanks for checking in. It's great to be back after a week off. Salute, man. Salute. So, this IPA is pretty good here. All right, so.
Hey, I'm going to give a shout out real quick to my homie, nephew, Jaden Jones. Rivals.com just came out today with their top 300 class of 2028. Jaden Jones is ranked 78th in the country for the class of 2028. And I believe number 2 or number 3 athlete overall in the country, and number 1 in Pennsylvania athlete in the country as well. So shout out
Shout
to
out,
the nephew
man.
doing his thing, 6'3", 195. Just killing the game. It's fun to watch. Good to watch these young boys turn into young men and kill the game, man. It's good to watch.
Sir. Yes, sir. All right, lastly here, quick before we start it, man, I do want to give a shout out to our sponsor, Celebrations Bar, Banquet, and Grill, one of the great local watering holes. And if you are ever in the Western PA, a.k.a. Robinson Township area of Pittsburgh, as you head down 2230 towards Weirton, it's a great local establishment, great friendly service.
Still got my appetizer.
You still got your free appetizer, absolutely.
Yes.
Yes, at 8110 Steubenville Pike. Man, give these guys a call, 724-695-4333. A great local bar, great staff that is a friendly staff, but also as they get to know you, they like to crack jokes on you too, which makes it more of that, like that Norm feel, if you will, from Cheers. So, man, it's a great local place if you're ever in the area. Man, we had some really good conversations on the group me as free agency is winding down. We're starting to see the philosophy of Mike McCarthy and you know and Graham and others, what kind of players they want to bring in, right? We have a lot of people that felt a certain way about losing Gainwell, and I get it. He was probably the best playmaker on offense last year. But you bring in Dowdle and you have like a different philosophy that's shaping up, go along with Jaylen Warren. And an interesting signing, because they also see, I'm going to bring up the offensive depth chart here, and I think we're going to go ahead and go through this, what this roster looks like right now, and then we'll hit the defense to see what this roster looks like right now, and then we will give some thoughts of some possible draft targets now. Now the free agency is kind of slowed down a little bit, and they're accumulating their roster. And as always, if anybody has any comments, questions, or anything, post them in there, and we'll get them up here, and GB and I will talk about them. And I would love to hear from everybody. So here we go. So I'm going to share my screen.
This is going to be a lot of fun.
This is going to be a lot of fun tonight, fellas. So
let's put our GM hats on.
As of right now, obviously the quarterback room is the one that's not complete. You could probably put Ron up there, right? But for right now, that's where they're at. I want to start, though, at the running back position. And you got Jaylen Warren, Dowdle, Caleb Johnson, Lou Nichols, who was a really good preseason all-star last year. And then they also have made an interesting move today, bringing in running back Homer. I'm drawing a brain fart. What's his first name? Guys, if you can help me with his first name. Travis Homer. I remember him in the Seattle days. I don't remember him much with Chicago. But they brought him in is not only just for running back depth, but it's also for his special teams prowess.
Mm-hmm.
I think I tweeted out like this could be a Miles Killebrew replacement move because he's got the speed to do some things that Killebrew was doing on it. Obviously, don't know I haven't watched his special team snaps, GB, but I've obviously remember him playing offense. He's pretty fast. He's a pretty good athlete. So what do you think about that addition of Homer to this running back room here that is currently on the roster for 2026?
He's just a guy. I mean,
Jag.
I mean, from a running back standpoint, he's just a guy.
Yeah.
I do believe this is more of a special teams move, special teams depth, if you will. It's always good to have those special teams demons, you know, and we lost one in Miles Killebrew, so you want to look to replace that, and he's definitely been a guy who has done a solid job on special teams. So yeah, it'll be fun to watch and see. Maybe he might stick to the roster and get a couple key runs every now and again. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, once you hit RB3 and 4, you have to bring something on special teams, right?
Right.
Do you think, as Kaboli tweeted out, that it doesn't? And I agree with you, and that's why I tweeted out I think he is a Miles Killebrew replacement. Do you think this does anything to Caleb Johnson?
No. And the reason being, well, I think that this isn't the end of them looking to improve the running back room, if that's what you're answering. And by improving, I mean who's going to be RB3, and is it going to be Caleb Johnson, Lou Nichols, or somebody else? Correct? Yeah, I don't think that they're done with Homer. I think they're. I absolutely think that. I'm looking. I tweeted out my first little mock simulation last night, and there are a couple guys that I've looked at based off of scheme, if you will, right? So yeah, I could see them taking a running back in day 2, maybe day 3, somewhere around there.
Yep. As we have your boy RB3 here, Homer is no more a halfback than Killebrew was a safety. I agree.
Exactly.
I agree, 100%. Well said. And I think, like I said, we do think it is a special teams move first, running back move second. But he can also provide that emergency running back depth, if you will. And you also said Lou Nichols is better than Johnson.
Sure is.
Listen, based off what I saw in preseason, it's definitely arguable. It just depends on that value in special teams. So, okay, yeah, your boy, he brought up I'm going to bring this up because I don't know if we can get into this guy yet, but I'm going to look him up here between the next few weeks, is the Toledo halfback, Chip Tatum. Okay, we'll look him up, man. Thanks for that tip, man. We're definitely going to look him up.
What's his measurables? What's his
measurables? Yeah, your boy, if you can put his measurables in real quick, maybe if you can look that up and post it, we'll get that back up here on the show. But again, thanks for the tip on that running back. Again, I think Jaylen Warren and Dowdle, I think those are obviously your 1-2 punch. I really think it's 1 and 1A. They should get equal time unless Warren has some fumbleitis that he has occasionally. We'll see if he comes out of falls out of favor, with Coach McCarthy. Ooh, he said he's 6'1", 235. You know what, your boy? We were talking about the Clemson running back who was a possible guy because he was of similar size and he had a really good combine workout. It would be really good to have that dynamic. So I'm definitely very interested in that.
So in the draft simulation yesterday, I had drafted a guy similar stature, Mike Washington Jr. from Arkansas.
Yes,
6 foot 230. So RB2, we on the same page as far as the type of back that we're looking for. And that dude and the kid from Arkansas runs a 4. He's not only a big dude, he got some speed too. Runs a 4.35 as well. So
your boy, what's his? Do we have his chip 40 time?
But those are the type of those are the body type of guys that we're targeting. We're definitely on the same page on as far as how to create the that type of chemistry in that running back room with that RB3, no doubt.
Yeah, he said Washington doesn't run to his size though, sadly. Yeah, GB, I mean, you like them as well too. Do you think you agree with your boy on that too? Is he more of like how Najee tried to get skinny a little too many times? But Washington's a lot faster though than Najee was.
Yeah, but and true that, but I do like the home run ability that he brings too. I mean, I think that has a that has some, that definitely has some play to it. We'll see how it play out. Yeah.
So he's and your boy posted it. If you guys saw it, just threw it up there. He said no Toledo Pro Day, but he's hearing that train him there could run the 4.4 range. So that would be intriguing.
I like Mac School running backs.
Yes, absolutely.
No doubt.
Absolutely.
No doubt.
All right, I want to turn our attention to the wide receivers here, because there's a lot of players here, but this is far from a complete room. I think the 3 locks for this roster are obviously DK, Pittman, and then Skronik because of his special teams prowess. Roman Wilson should be a lock for this roster. Let's see what Mike McCarthy uses him for. He should be a lock, but we'll have to see what they can get in a draft. I think they're probably done free agency wise with a wide receiver, unless there's just a late camp, around camp addition like a Robert Woods, where it obviously doesn't end up making the team. But there are a couple names out there for the receiver position. And I want to get your guys' thoughts on this and everybody else's thoughts. And your boy, that's a great question. We'll bring that up here in a second. I'm thinking round one is going to go one of two ways. It's going to go offensive line or it's going to go receiver.
Yeah.
Okay. And it could be guard / tackle or it could be receiver. Now, we'll get to the lineman here in a second. But what I'm talking about in receiver is my favorite. And, if you look at the top 30 that they brought in, right, because this is a very big indicator. They're up to 16 of the 30 pre-draft visits that they've hosted. They've hosted Jeff Caldwell, receiver out of Cincinnati, Kendrick Law, who's a wide receiver / kick returner from Kentucky, Denzel Boston from Washington,
big boy,
and Jeremy Bernard from Alabama.
Hands.
As you know, my personal favorite is Omar Cooper Jr. for this offense, who is a yak monster.
Stud.
Right? Yak monster, and he's strong, and the kid is just learning. I think he goes well with these two guys right here.
Yeah.
Right? With these two guys. Now, here are some measurables on this receiving core. Let's talk about this as well, too. Mr. Steeler fan, I agree with this, is Caldwell is a huge sleeper. And I'm going to hit that first. It's Mr. Steeler fan said that. And I think that's the first time I've seen you here, man. So welcome to the Bird Cave, man. Appreciate you hanging out with us.
Welcome, Mr. Steeler fan. Yes.
Welcome, damn it. Welcome.
Welcome, damn it. Welcome.
GB, you ready for this?
Let's do it.
Jeff Caldwell, Cincinnati, 6'5", 216.
Yeah.
4'3",
Yeah, I seen that. I seen that.
Here's what I like: 78-inch wingspan. All right, his bio reads that he's an explosive athlete and a very fluid runner. I've only seen a few highlights, tapes of him as I read this list. Right, he's a touchdown machine. 28 TDs on 124 catches in college. You know what that says to me?
Jesus.
Martavis Bryant. Right? Here's what I like, though, GB. It says that he's a willing blocker.
Wait, what how tall is he again?
6'5", 216. Now, here's his weaknesses in his bio. And I've seen some of this, but again, it's very limited. I'll be honest, I didn't watch a lot of it. His route tree isn't great, probably because he's still learning the position. Some of it could have been the offense that he is in. The thing that is a head scratcher for me, it says even though he's a willing blocker, his technique is really bad. So he just runs into dudes. To me, that screams you may get called for some holding calls here and there, but that's also coaching, right?
Yeah.
Combat catching is a head scratcher for his size. So that I don't like. But that could be a mentality, and that can be a coach. You can maybe develop some of that out of them.
Yeah.
Jeff Caldwell, I mean, that's an interesting prospect that you could get in later rounds. Okay. I also liked Kendrick Law, who was another guy that was brought in for this receiving core, because you also saw a punt returner by his name, or kick returner, right?
And his measurables?
This is different. What'd you say, GB?
His measurables are?
Who's that?
Kendrick Law.
Oh, Kendrick Law is 5'11", 203. Ran a 4.45.
Okay.
Here's every coach from Cincinnati should be fired. He was grossly misused. I will. I'll take your word for that. But sounds like he should have had more touchdowns than that. So here's what's interesting about Kendrick Law from Kentucky, right? Obviously, he's a natural slot guy. 21 reps on the bench. 42-inch vertical and 128-inch broad jump. That's just athleticism.
What'd you say, 128?
What's that?
Over 10 feet.
That shows explosiveness.
5'11".
Yeah. Again, as a receiver, bench press is not that big of a deal. But when you throw up 21 reps at 203 pounds, you're pretty strong. That's that. Remember, reason I like Omar Cooper Jr. is because of the strength, a young Deebo Samuel type guy, right?
Yeah.
And then the last one, GB, and let's talk about this. We got some comments coming in here too, is Jeremy Bernard. I like this guy from Alabama.
Hands.
6'1", 206, 448. Same type of guy, right? Here's the best thing. He scored in the upper, basically in the 88th percentile in the 3-cone with a 6.71. Okay. In his bio reads perfect. Owns the intermediate field. Hashes, digs, slants, things like that. This basically is a fit for these two big dudes on the outside, right? Very good. He's another good yak guy. Maybe he's a second to Cooper in the yak guy, but he's a really good yak guy. He gets and I like this in his bio, great catch to up the field fluidity. No wasted motion, catch, tuck, get upfield, right? And basically he said he's a very smart route runner. Good. He knows how to get open. Which that would be an A.A. Ron dream, or even a Will Howard or anybody else's dream. However, obviously he doesn't have the long speed, and he says he struggles with press coverage. But you can coach that out, and you can also formation that out by putting him in a bunch to get him off of that. So what do you got? What do you think there? And about those guys, GB, and I'm going to bring up some comments we got coming up here from the peeps in the chat.
Okay, first of all, I appreciate people bringing up new names
100%
to pay attention to as well. I think that speaks volumes of the intellect of our fans. We appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? Yes, 2 claps. Any rate, right? Any rate, so I've had my eye on a couple guys, right? And I've been very vocal about it. Jordan Tyson being the number one dude, like.
Yeah.
And I find this to be absolutely amazing. And guys, can we just take a second and pause where we are personnel wise and depth wise? Like, our defense is set up. We haven't talked about the defense yet. We'll get to it.
We'll get to that in a little bit. Yeah.
But the way that things are set up right now, obviously quarterback, we kind of know what's going to happen there. And I even see a path where they may even take another dude. You never know. But at any rate, no matter how the quarterback thing plays out, the Steelers are putting themselves in position to have the right personnel moving forward, no matter who it is in 2027. That's the one thing that I'm taking I'm paying close attention to this personnel, and I'm like, oh my goodness. I'm like, if it's Rodgers, or if they decide, hey,
right.
if Mike McCarthy and them say, hey, Ty Simpson makes the most sense. I didn't say GB said that. I said if Mike McCarthy and them said that Ty Simpson said, hey, he makes most sense, right? He set up the personnel, the offensive side of the ball is set up for him to succeed, right? I don't think we had this same type of personnel per se when we had a quote unquote young quarterback, or when we were trying to revamp the quarterback room altogether. But this time around, I feel like we at least got this part right. We at least have wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2. We have running back 1, running back 2, tight end 1, tight end 2. The majority of the line.
So we got at least 3/5 of the line is there.
And still 12 draft picks, and we have depth, right?
And cap space.
Right. And we still have cap space. Like, no matter how this thing unfolds, right, we're in position in 2027 to do whatever. So I say all that to say, back to the receivers, continue to build it, right? So you put yourself in a position where you can now take a Jordan Tyson if he's there, if that's what you feel like is your main guy, right? Or is the guy, right? Or if you feel Mekhi Lemon is the guy, or if you feel, Denzel Boston is the guy. I don't know who the guy is. I tell you who my favorite is, but I don't know who the guy is. But I'm just saying, like, they put themselves in position to be able to, if they want to take a receiver, man, they can do it. So and it won't affect anything else that they can do along the board. That's the beautiful thing.
Yeah. So I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to bring up 2 things on the receivers here. As Mr. Steeler fan just brought up a stat I think is worth showing on this show here about Caldwell. I'm starting to become more of a Caldwell fan. GB, you'll like this. Caldwell scored the second highest RAS score behind Megatron.
Mm.
And I will tell you this, Megatron was not the greatest route runner either, but he was dominant, but he was definitely a combat catch guy. And your boy actually said here, you can see he's been, wait, where'd it go? Here it is. I hit the wrong comment. He said Caldwell was 5'9", 145 at 17 years old, 6'5", 190 in high school. So the fact that he's put on 26 pounds, he's got some work ethic behind him.
See, my son still got hope.
Yeah.
He still got hope. Now, he ain't 145. He's a whole shit brick house.
Yeah.
But he's only 5'7", 5'8", instead of 6'5". So he still got hope. He'll be 16 in a couple weeks.
And we need, and Mr. Stitter, we need a stud slot like,
Yes.
Jeremy Bernard is a guy. I agree. That's why I like Omar Cooper. But I gave some thoughts. I'm going to wrap up the receiver talk with this here real quick. Is I did watch a lot of film on Denzel Boston. Okay, and it's actually he was brought in as a top 30 guy. Again, the Steelers have brought in 16 of their 30, so they're not done yet, right? I love he's 6'4", 212. He ran a 4.52, right? He was a 3-star coming out. He's what you call a true X receiver. I don't know how much he can play in the slot. Maybe he could just be there some formationally with like a trips or a bunch, right? 32-inch arms, pretty good wingspan. His straight line speed is really good. He's not very shifty, all right? He's consistent but not flashy. What I mean by flashy, you're not ever going to watch a highlight of Boston and go, oh, my God, right? If you're going to watch and go, there's a catch, there's another first down. There's a catch, there's a first down. He has really, really good hands from what I've seen. I didn't see a lot of body catches when I watched. I remember watching a few Washington games. I watched, I think, their game against Ohio State this year, and I watched a few others. And I went back and watched multiple highlight videos of him just to see a few things. I do think he's limited with Yak. However, he's, again, really good with moving the chains and finding spots in the field. You know what I put as a comp for him? I said if Hines, outside of the blocking, I said if Hines Ward was 6'4", that's who he reminds me of. Remember how Hines would just get open? He's not going to blow by anybody, but he could, if you hit him, he could go 80.
Yeah.
But that's what Boston reminded me of, a 6'4" version of Hines Ward based on the fit outside of the blocking, because nobody can block like Hines. But that's who he reminded me of. So it's interesting to see that all those different dynamics that they're bringing in, someone like like Kendrick Law. You're talking about Jeremy Bernard. Then you got Caldwell in Boston. You got big guys. You got 6-foot guys, 5'11" guys. So it's really, really interesting. But go ahead.
That's the part that really intrigues me, because I hear a lot of people talking about grabbing another big body, and I think about that, and I'm intrigued by it too. And the reason why I'm intrigued by it is because Michael Pittman can play big body slot.
Yeah.
You guys understand? Like, he can absolutely play the slot. And just hearing a couple excerpts from interviews, and I think I've mentioned this before, Dudek, where he was when he and McCarthy was speaking and he was talking about enhancing the route tree, that perked my ears up.
Yeah.
So I could see a situation where they do take another, quote unquote, outside receiver per se, a bigger body like that. I could see that happening if they feel like they can do something with Pittman in the slot.
And I think if they
just play big body, I mean, that's some big boy bully ball right there. Good Lord, 6'4", 6'5", and 6'4".
Yeah, I mean, and I think it also would bode well for someone like Roman Wilson and other things too, just to give it a chance. I think he was in the wrong offense with Arthur Smith, but I digress. I brought this up. I said a few minutes ago, your boy RB3 brought up a good comment, a good question. GB, I want your thoughts on this.
So that's
how do you guys feel about a real fullback?
So as far as Mike McCarthy is concerned, it wouldn't surprise me one bit because, in the confines of the West Coast offense, you just got a blocking fullback, this leading the charge, if you will. John Kuhn was one of my favorite fullbacks of all time because he was here at the Steelers first, and then he ended up going to Green Bay, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I digress. But yeah, I could see that definitely being a thing, if you will, and 1,000%, I could see them picking somebody up. I mean, it's a staple in the and if you think about like what we've been talking about as far as like 12 and 13 personnel and stuff, and playing big bully ball football again, power football, like that goes right in line with picking up Dowdle.
Yep.
Right. Like
yep.
It all goes in line with what they've been showing or putting on display.
Yeah. Welcome, Scott. I think it's the first time I've seen you here as well, man. Welcome to the Bird Cave, man. Appreciate you. I do agree should have kept Hayward, but again, it could have been more of that schematic fit. Why they let him go. I'd be interested to see how they use Darnell Washington more, or do they get like some type of a I don't know much about the Michigan fullback. I'll look him up again, man. Thank you for another name for us to look up.
I want a Patrick Ricard type. Give me
that would be nice. The problem with that, though, is you do become somewhat limited.
Yeah.
You do become somewhat limited from a personnel perspective when you bring those old school fullbacks in. I think that's why you don't see true fullbacks like we were just talking about, and the Dan Kreiders and of the past, but.
If you got a bunch of 6'4" and 6'5" mega athletes out there, it ain't gonna mean a hill of beans if you got one fullback out there.
No,
you got these freaking athletes out there making plays for you. Overall, like, could you imagine like trying to put a slot corner on Michael Pittman at 6'4"?
No.
Yeah,
right.
Dude, like, yeah, good luck.
So to wrap this up, though, as I do think, again, you're kind of limited on that, but I think with these tight ends of how powerful they are, and some of these are good blockers, obviously a lot better pass catchers. I think those are your new fullbacks, and I love to see Darnell Washington be able to be used all over the field here. GB, I'm going to pivot for one question here before we get into the tackles, and then we'll hop over to the defense.
Yeah,
I have it. Mr. Steeler fan brought up a great question. I just want to, now that we have a lot of people here. Hang with us. I want to talk about this for a few minutes. Is Drew Aller a sleeper quarterback? In 2025, had he declared he was a projected top 5 pick? What am I missing?
And obviously, you're missing. I got an easy answer for you. I got a very, very easy answer for you.
Mm-hmm.
That dude was throwing to Tyler Warren the year prior. He was not throwing to Tyler Warren last year, and it made a hill of beans difference, y'all. I'm telling you, like. Whole different quarterback. So, and sometimes, if your personnel ain't it, bro, like, and they were a running team. they had a 1-2 punch.
They were. They're definitely a running team. They're built on this.
But I didn't like Aller when he was throwing to Tyler Warren either. So there's that. So.
No, and I agree, and I'll tell you why. And again, Mr. Steeler fan, great question. Give me a second.
I wanted to make that clear, dude. That I was not pro Drew Aller even when he was looking decent.
Yeah.
When he was throwing to Tyler, I still wasn't. He wasn't the guy.
I'm not pro Drew Aller, nor my bash Drew Aller be negative. I'm just calling it like what I see. And Lord knows I've been wrong many times, right? I've been wrong many times. There was 2 years ago, this is where it started to fall off for me with Drew Aller. There was a clip of him in his spring game. As you know, if anybody's seen spring games, quarterbacks are dressed in red jerseys, which means you don't touch them. They were running a play. The outside linebacker was coming on the blitz, and he was jogging because, again, you can't touch him. You see him in his drop. Take a gander back at him, and then he throws off his back foot, and he basically shot puts the ball in the guy's feet on about a 14, 16-yard dig route. What are you doing like that in a spring game? Now you translate that into a game. Once Penn State gets by that JV schedule that they do every year in non-conference, and listen, that's just a lot of big schools. That's not a dig at Penn State. That's a lot of schools that do that. He gets in these big games, he shrinks. He throws the ball late a lot. He has a cannon for an arm. Drew Aller is top 3, top 5 talent, but he's like third or fourth round play. There's something there that's missing. So, Mr. Steeler fan, I don't know what you're missing. I don't know what I'm missing. I don't know what anybody's missing, but something is missing. Maybe to your point, if he falls in the draft and goes to a team and he can sit a few years, there could be a gem there. I'm certainly not going to put a first round grade on him. I think I maybe third or fourth round, maybe if there's a flyer if he's there. But yeah, that's you're not missing anything. There's just something it's not there in my opinion with Drew Aller. So, GB, I think what we're looking at here as we head down to the draft here in 30 days, we're going to go nuts for an offensive lineman. I think more than not. You have 3 guards, possibly, and not all of those will be first rounders, or an offensive tackle. And I have 1 tackle in mind that I would love to talk about. One Penn State guy that is getting a lot of hype, and Lord knows if I'm going to try to pronounce this man's name. Ione from Penn State, Big 71.
Let's call him Vega.
Vega. And you also have Pregnon from Oregon. I think he can be guard or tackle. And then one guy that actually was brought in for a top 30 visit was Keelan Rutledge out of Georgia Tech. Okay. Now, I know we just signed that guy from Dallas. It's a 1-year deal, and it's more of a depth piece. He might be a swing backup. And there's a lot of talk of the Steelers really like Anderson. What are you looking at with these guards? Would you pull a first-round selection on the Penn State guy or maybe the Oregon guy? Or is there anybody there that you think is worth pulling it? Or are you going somewhere else and maybe going tackle?
So we talked about this a couple times, the Broderick Jones factor.
Yeah.
Right? What's going on with that boy's neck? Is he going to, is that going to continue to be a lingering thing? Or is it going to be something he's going to be able to fully recover and, he'll be back to form, going into year 4 now? So
5.
Is it? I lose track.
No, it's 4. It's 4. It's 4.
When you get into your 40s and closer into your 50s,
what threw me off is they could have picked up his 5th-year option, but it's his 4th year. So you're right.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, right.
Okay. So I say all that to say, that's a big determining factor on, in my opinion. If I'm in the room, I feel like that's a big determining factor on what they're planning to do in the first round. Because if Broderick is damaged, and it could be a prolonged thing, they're going to have to, because and this is no shade to Dylan Cook. I thought Dylan Cook played very well.
He did.
When he came in for Broderick, but you still need depth at the end of the day. And I feel like they've been building Dudek quietly the interior of the line and setting up for an early tackle pickup is what it's looking like, because they just signed McCollum. They just signed was it Hoffman? Is that the dude's name from Dallas? They just signed Hoffman, right? You still have Anderson, you got McCormick, you got Frazier. So it feels like if they were going guard early, it doesn't feel like they would be continuing to keep putting these depth, these veteran depth pieces in place. At least I wouldn't think so. I mean, unless they're just saying, hey, we got to find the very best of the very best, and that's that,
Yeah, but, and I don't think any of those guys could play tackle, at least naturally.
Right.
So you got a good point on there, and this would be, your boy would be great, is Yeah, well, I wish Fano would fall to 21, move Troy back to left tackle, then Dunker or Rutledge in a second, Hurst and Lance around 3. That would actually be a very good.
It'd be a very good. That
would be a very good day. Very good couple days there. I have a question for everybody on this. Mark's definitely a big Vega fan. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, you see his athleticism. Why wouldn't you? There's a tackle out there that might be a second or third round guy. He's ranked as a 13th overall tackle on a lot of draft boards. Big ass Mark Bell from Miami. 6'9", 346 pounds. Now, here's why I say that. We actually now have a proven, reputable offensive line coach in Campen. You have a Hall of Fame candidate, Jahari Evans. You have some of these guys that you have an offensive line coaching staff that I'm very, very excited to see work with these boys. Because if you take someone like Mark Bell, he's going to be a project. So I'm going to read a couple stats with this, GB, and I would like for you to weigh in on this. And please, anybody in the chat, talk about this. This man it's odd because he only has 9-inch hands. Must be But look at this though. But one of his strengths is grip strength. So he gets you. He's going to get you like this, but he's going to get you. Listen, 36 and 3/8-inch arm length. That's like a 95 percentile in as far as the. Well, unfortunately, and you could expect this at his size, he's in the bottom 30% in athleticism, scores like cone drills. Obviously, we don't worry about the 40s, but like 10-yard splits and things like that. Here's what I do like about him. He was a 0-star recruit out of high school. No Power 5 offers. He went to Holmes College, which was the JUCO route. Mm-hmm. Once he got out of JUCO, he was the 4th overall prospect in JUCO before he ended up going to Miami. Nice. Kid's worked his tail off. His strengths are obviously grip strength. It says massive improvement in pass blocking, right? 0 sacks and 558 snaps.
So basically, he get his hands on you. That's your ass.
It's a your ass. But great club move, and he does have some good recovery. His run blocking is a liability. Leverage it will be an issue at 6'9", and you get some savvy pass rushers. And in his bio, in his scouting report, said the inside counter moves exposes him.
He's one of the most ill-built looking dudes at tackle.
So my question is, are you taking a flyer on this on Bell for a depth piece, knowing who we have as a coach? Yeah, and I agree, you boys. He's kind of sloppy and slow. He is big. The only reason I'm considering this,
dude, he ain't nothing but Max Starks in 2026. That's all.
Hey, we won 2 rings with that dude.
Remember Max Starks was big as hell back in the day. What was he? He was 6'7",
6'8", like 6'8", like 360.
So he was like he was like a mammoth of a guy, and he wasn't the most. He was. I mean, he was. Right. He wasn't the greatest of prospects out there. So it wouldn't. Yeah.
So GB, and to everybody out here, and please, I just want to ask this question. I want you to run with this, and everybody else. The reason I even bring up Mark Bell, because I agree with RB3 here, is he's a little sloppy. He's in that, he's just a big dude, right? But when you see a 0-star recruit work his tail off to the number 4 JUCO recruit, okay, you then see no sacks allowed in 558 snaps, and that can be deceiving because you use a lot of wide receiver screens and things like that. So that's kind of deceiving. You're seeing at least a work ethic, at least on paper, or at least it's producing. You have a guy like Campen and Jahari Evans as your coach. Is he worth a flyer? And like Mark was saying, he's seeing box drafts or him going in rounds 4 and 5. So in rounds 4 or 5, or would you take a flyer on someone like Mark Bell, knowing who we have as coaches?
I would consider it. Absolutely. I would absolutely consider it.
Listen, 13th best tackle. They're going to be able to have a lot more. You got Proctor from Alabama. Both Utah tackles, Fano and Lomu.
Yeah.
Then you got Dunker from Iowa. Somebody had mentioned. I seen Blake Miller out of Clemson. Some say the Steelers were going to take him as well too. So that might be you're onto something, GB. I didn't really put two and two together about how the Steelers were building that interior line.
Yeah,
you kind of got one starter and 1.5 stars because again, Dylan Cook played well, but by no means do you hand him the starting job.
Correct.
You also not even you need a left tackle, but you need competition and let the best man win. I think Fuutana, that's his position, but you need that competition out there. So tackle might be the way to go here in the first round.
And I feel like if you see them take a tackle day 2 with a later pick, because we have 4 of them in day 2, versus day 1 or day, then you'll know that I think that that'll tell you what they feel about Broderick as well. Like that'll kind of put that piece into play moving forward. Does that make sense? Like,
yep.
But if we take a tackle early, then you're like, oh, Broderick may be in trouble.
Yeah.
And he still might be in trouble because, and I was explaining this to Braylon earlier. I said, all the cards are off the table for the most part with some of these young draft picks because they're not their picks. They're not their guys.
Yeah.
Like Roman Wilson is not a Mike McCarthy guy. Caleb Johnson isn't a Mike McCarthy guy. Broderick Jones may not be a Campton guy. Like you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like we don't know how that's going to play out.
Good point.
So
yep. Yeah, there's no contractual obligations to keep those guys.
Correct.
Too. So
correct.
All right. Again, a lot more talking and I'm going to let me take a notes with this. I'm going to go back and look at some of these names that people have posted here. Again, thank you guys so much for that. This is what this is about, man. This is talking about some good ball. Let's educate each other and save the hot take mess for others as well. Let's go to the defensive side of the ball. And we sent over just a picture from our lads, I believe.
Thanks, our lads.
This. Pay me for the promotion.
Thanks, guys.
So you got Derek. This is what I'm excited for, right? Derek Harmon and Keanu Benton, and then Y.A. Black.
Yes.
This Joseph Day, man, this was a sneaky good signing because it allows Cam and then Autonomo, whatever. I'm just gonna call him Easy. He played well in the rotation, right?
Easy.
I'm just gonna call him Easy. Yep, it's not even how you pronounce his name. I'm just gonna call him Easy. He played well, but what I like is this is a good rotation. It allows the captain to pace himself at 37 years old.
Sebastian
Joseph playing
Day,
at an all-pro level.
Hey, Sebastian Joseph Day's homie is, right? Like his homie is.
No.
Aaron Donald, bro. Like that's his guy. Yo, my gosh, yeah. Bro, they played together in LA. Like that's it, dude, that's his guy. Like he has I've heard so many good things about this dude. This dude is he's so intriguing. First of all, his energy, they said his energy is out of this world. Even like the media is even excited about him because he'll give you one. You know what I mean? He's like one of those guys. He'll give you a quote. So from an entertainment standpoint, but dude, he is. I was watching some of the clips, and his bull rush at nose is ridiculous in the pass rush. It looked like I don't know if you ever watched National Geographic when the orcas take out you see the orcas come through and they just take the baby seal, like they take the seal. That's what he was looking like when he was taking over like centers. He was mauling them over like that. And I was like, oh, okay, he is sneaky good, man. So that's I love all of these picks, but that one was really one.
Yeah,
that took away. You know what that did, and I think that took away my need to say, hey, we should really address the interior defensive line in the first day or two. Yeah, after we got him, I was like, I think we'll be all right.
You can probably think because you still have who's the guy from Iowa we got? He played a little bit last year. Was it Lowry?
No. Logan Lee.
Logan Lee. Yeah, they still got those guys, or you can get rookie free. So yeah, I think D line right now would be. I don't say it's a strength, but they don't need. You could address it other places.
It's deep. It definitely. You got some deep. You got some depth there, man. That's for sure.
The one spot on here, and I love to have everyone's thoughts.
Uh-oh.
The one spot I see on here that I think could get addressed is middle linebacker for two reasons. Peyton Wilson's not a true inside backer every day, but he's a good nickel guy, right? Patrick Queen is – I still think he's playing solid. I think he played solid a lot last year. Fans got on this trade – they were trading everybody. They got on this trade Patrick Queen kick. And there's part of me that understands it, but the reason I say you could draft someone is because he's in his last year of his contract.
Right.
So you don't have somebody come in and step in. And I'm honestly thinking, I'm still thinking, and Malik Harrison may not make this team. He could he might be a post June 1 cap casualty. Again, he's a thumper, just like who was due before him? We all liked
Landon
Roberts. Yeah, I don't know why I was drawing a brain fart, but Landon Roberts can at least cover a little bit. Malik Harrison can't cover at all. So I think that you could put more playing time for Cole Holcomb, who can cover a little bit. But if you get a fourth guy in there to play and who could eventually maybe replace a Patrick Queen, Patrick Queen, you might be looking at inside linebacker. I mean, what do you guys think?
Okay, so I'm very, 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 very intrigued on the defensive the DC Graham.
You're right,
because I have watched Landon Roberts turn into get better after he left the Steelers. Actually got better, right? And Robert Spillane both get better after they left the Steelers. And here's the thing. I didn't think they were playing bad when they were here. Okay, I want to make that very clear. When they left, I didn't feel like they were playing. Did you lose me?
No, we're good. No, we were on here saying we wanted to resign Landon Roberts.
Yeah, yes, correct. So, but at any rate, I say all that to say that them re-signing Cole Holcomb, that kind of put my ears up because he's kind of in that ilk where he hasn't been bad, he just hasn't been available yet. Right, yeah. I saw the vision whenever they signed him to begin with, when he came from the Commanders.
Yeah.
Right. So I think with Graham, I think you're going to get more from Wilson. First of all, number one, I think you get more from Wilson.
Yeah.
PQ's only going to be here for another year, and Harrison, you're right. I don't think he's going to be here. So I think you have no choice but to draft or address in free agency. And there are, as far as the draft is concerned, I have a guy. There's one guy, right? And you don't have to go, in the first top 10 to get him.
Okay.
Guy by the name of Jacob Rodriguez. I am a huge fan.
Yes.
Of Jacob Rodriguez.
Texas Tech, yep.
And he could be had, I believe, in day 2, or even if you needed to move up in day 2 to get him in the second. You know what I mean? Yeah. Hey, listen.
That might be where you might parlay one of those threes to move up to go get him.
Correct.
Yeah.
And we talked about, them parlaying to get a dude. We talked about it more about going into the first and getting the looking in like a Sonny Styles type of situation, if they wanted to go Caleb Down, something like that, before they had the Brisker signing and all these other things that came down. But yeah, there's and Mr. Steeler fan is absolutely correct. There are some guys, probably the most loaded linebacker class in quite some time, in a long time.
Have you seen? I think you have, GB, because that's one of the reasons why you like him. That film when they show Rodriguez's his club move where he creates so many turnovers. He can run. He just knows when to just with the ball. And he did a lot of it in the playoff games. Actually, he kept Texas Tech in that game as long as they possibly could.
Yeah.
Because their offense wasn't obviously didn't do jack shit.
He got Steeler written all over him.
He does, yeah, Steeler written all over him. Because some of these receivers here, you might like a Kendrick Law, you might be able to get in the third round if you got, you got a stud tackle and you got Rodriguez, and then you say came in around with Kendrick Law or Jeff Caldwell or something like that in the third. That's a pretty damn good draft.
Yeah,
very very good draft, or maybe a Jeremy Bernard or something. So I like that pick, and I just looked at when I'm looking at this, that inside linebacker room. I think it makes sense for drafting versus free agency because you obviously got 4 guys that can play at least a little bit. And I say a little bit. Harrison is like definitely the distant 4th guy there. But like you said, Holcomb was playing very well actually in the Steelers system before he got hurt.
correct.
So now he's coming back, and like you said, we'll see what Graham can do with him.
I was actually kind of disappointed in Malik Harrison's play. I thought he was going to be a little bit better. He seemed like he was slower than I thought that he was.
GB,
he could thump. He just couldn't run.
GB, I want to look this up. Please confirm this because Mr. Steeler fan, you're bringing it tonight, man. Thank you. Look, I forgot about this. And I think the answer is yes.
Yes.
I think the answer is yes. Great find, Steeler fan. My God, you're 100% correct. I mean, that's some inside knowledge on that. So, and I think, is he a – let me see. Was he a – I'll have to look. Let me see if I have – I think I have opened another window. I don't know. Now, hold on, guys. You'll get to see this here. Yep, and he's a top 30 visit.
Hey, did you see Perkins got a visit today? Harold Perkins Jr. Who ran a 4.38 today. Linebacker. Just wanted to throw that out there. My son is a huge Harold Perkins fan. Huge fan.
Yep. So I'm hoping Graham can scheme up something to unlock PQ. Still waiting for him to get a pick since coming to Pittsburgh. I think, Mark, I do think Graham can do something with PQ because obviously he's a little more physically talented than Landon Roberts as far as coverages and being able to run and do things, and he's more athletic than Spillane as well. I like to see what he would do with all the linebackers, but I agree. I'm hoping he can scheme something up. And, man, yeah, Mr. Steeler fan, I love that Texas Tech is an outside linebacker coach. So he was a linebacker coach at Texas Tech, man. That might mean something. That might mean something.
No doubt.
So the secondary, I like this. Deshaun Elliott and Jalen Ramsey. I like Jalen Ramsey penciled in as a free safety. I don't know why they haven't signed Savage yet. I don't know if something's falling through with any medicals or anything, but he's not signed yet. But Jaquan Brisker obviously is a really good signing, solid signing. Brandon Eccles is still there as a nickel, plus you still got Asante Samuel. This secondary room has got to be very, very strong. And one guy, and first off, I want everyone's thoughts on the secondary, and I'm going to be a homer for a second because there is a local kid that would fit in very nice in the secondary. I don't know if he's a linebacker or not, and that would be Kyle Lewis. He might go a little bit too high for the Steelers' liking depending on other needs. I can see Kyle Lewis anywhere from the 3rd to the 5th round. Maybe high 30, maybe even late 2, depending on schemes. But I think maybe depending on how you want to use him, because I do think Kyle Lewis is more of a strong safety than a linebacker. But what are your guys' thoughts on this secondary?
First of all, let me just say Kyle Lewis plays ball like his hair is on fire. Anybody who gets Kyle Lewis on their football team is getting themselves an incredible football player, and I do hope that he is a Pittsburgh Steeler at some point in the day 3, if possible. And I'll leave it at that. As far as this secondary is concerned, though, probably the most talented secondary I've seen. Because there's a lot of depth on here right now. And the Brisker signing was probably my favorite out of all of the signings. Jamel Dean too. Like that was another one. That was another one because it was like that was kind of like the same with like I had with Pittman. It was kind of like a finally relief. Like you finally completed the set. You
Yeah.
know, we completed the corners, and now we completed the wide receiver set. But that Brisker one is that's the one I think is going to make that's the one that's going to really cause issues, because I see a situation where they maybe take a corner, a slot corner in the draft to upgrade. No shade to Brandon Eccles. I'm just looking at, where can we find a dynamic playmaker to add to this dynamic playmaking defense already. And when you look at it like a D'Angelo Pons, type of guy, you know what I mean? Like that's the type of ilk that I'm looking at, second round. And hey, because again, look at the depth chart as it is right now. That's the beautiful thing about this roster. So is that it's already all. I mean, dude, we could really just say, screw it. Let's just go with this.
I'm not going to tell you, D'Angelo Pons, it would not be a bad pick either, because here's two things.
Yes.
Corey Trice, I don't think is going to be around because Corey Trice is just not available. Asante Samuel Jr. and Brandon Eccles are both on the last year or on 1-year deals.
Yep.
Can you go look for that future nickel? And Pons could be that guy. That would not be a bad pick. I mean, again, anywhere in the draft. I'm not saying first round. I'm just saying in general. Again, we're talking about these top 5 picks. I'm going to say 4 to 5 picks because I do think one of those thirds will get gobbled up in a package to go get somebody.
Yeah.
So a nickel corner is not out of the question because, again, the depth's there. I'll be very curious to see where they play Brisker because he is slotted there as a strong safety. Now, that allows Deshaun Elliott to come back slowly. But I hear Jaquan Brisker is a free safety. He's an any safety. I looked at him more as a strong safety. I don't think he had range like some other guys.
He can cover.
I could be wrong. But I'm just saying, I just saw him more as that thumper.
He can do both. He can do both. Oh yeah.
So I'm just asking. I don't want people to say, just because he's a local kid, he's a Whitfield guy, he's a Penn State guy for half the fan base. I just want to see it. I want to see him. I'm going to watch more film on him. But again, I'm not saying he can't. I just haven't seen it. But I want to see. I could be very well could be wrong. But
so
he was a strong more than a free.
So, watching him, he really caught my eye in the playoffs this past year. I didn't really pay attention to him. I ain't really a Penn State dude, all like that. Like, we don't. No, I don't really do that here.
Right.
No shade. I just don't. That's just not. I don't really watch him a lot, right? And I don't watch a lot of Gateway high school football. I just don't. We're on the whole other side of the city. We just don't see it. So, I didn't really know too much about him, other than he was a local kid, right?
Yeah.
But this past postseason, he caught my eye because the way and I think that's what you're alluding to, of him thumping, because you saw him coming downhill with bad, very bad intentions. You know what I mean? And I think that's what you saw. But he definitely has the range to do some other things. And the thing about Brisker too is that I think that may be the thing that may actually be the thing that doesn't have us take like a Kyle Lewis, because we have a Brisker type of because he has that type of athleticism as well. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
Kyle Lewis is going to be a great.
He's going to be a great
safety.
guy.
There's no
great
doubt.
Strong safety. All these true safeties will be free agency this year. We're definitely drafting a safety for Shizzle. Yeah, Mark. I think it's going to be in play this draft, no doubt. Mr. Steeler fans have people really, really dreaming about this. Any chance Sonny Styles falls to us in the first round? Hey, GB, I don't know where you went, but you got that Vince McMahon music. No chance. no chance in hell.
But I
would love I would love for him to be here. I think he's a top 5 pick based off his athleticism.
No, but I would say this. Like, I know that they would get absolutely destroyed if they tried to jump back into the top 10 for another linebacker like they did with Devin Bush.
Yeah.
But I've been on. We've talked about it. Like if he dropped down to somewhere between 9 to 13, right?
Mhm.
Exactly. Right.
Yeah.
If he drops down to like 9 to 13, I'm tempted to say, hey, let's take some calls and see what it takes to get down to this so we can go get Sonny Styles.
The more he falls, the more interested you could be.
Right.
Yeah.
I just don't know. Here's the other part. Nobody knows where they have that dude on their draft board. We don't know.
Because there's
how many times we think we know. We don't really know. No.
There's defensive scheme fits. You got to look at, quarterbacks, some tackles. You're going to have receivers that someone's going to go for the best corner in the draft. There's other guys, the edge guys. So just by default, and that's why we're saying, like, even some of these, hey, he might be the best guard or he's a second or third rated tackle. Just based off of need, some of these guys, these good players are going to fall. And we talked about the Steelers moving up in the second round, but maybe they move up in the first round too with a third or something. And they may be swapping a pick next year as well too. You never know what they can do. I will tell you this, I'm done trying to predict what Omar Khan will and will not do. Because this dude is, if he sees a guy, he's going to go get it. And he drafted very well in his 3 years he's been here. He is drafted very, very well. So I'm going to trust him. So,
for real,
Sonny does fit, you're right, Antoine. He does. Sonny fits our scheme. I just think the more he falls, we could go get him. But I think he's going to be a top 10 pick, if not higher.
I think so as well. But you know what, man? God bless these GMs that got to go out here and assess this talent as well, because they may have all the measurables in the world, all the athleticism and everything, but if they don't have it from the neck up, and you can't pick that up, you know, dude, it's still a crapshoot. This is not a perfect science, not by any stretch of the imagination. Otherwise, people wouldn't be getting fired, and more importantly, we wouldn't have fans asking for people's heads to get fired every damn year because of it. So,
one thing I do like is you see Ike Taylor's out there on the scouting players too. So not as he have an eye for that, he knows what it means to be a Steeler. And I do think, as much as McCarthy is more of the offensive guy, and he's not been a Steelers coach, I think he kind of knows what it means to be a Steeler. And I do think they're going to draft players accordingly and fit his more offensive-based scheme. And I went back to the top 30, and there were no safeties right now. Again, there's 16 of 30, so there's still 14 more. Actually, there might be more because Kyle Lewis and Khalil Dinkins are the local visits. I don't know if they count towards a 30 or not.
I don't think they count.
So these may not count, but they got the two corners from Washington, who I do like. If you remember, I watched
that tall,
guys,
big boy.
Both tall. Yeah, they're both tall. They're both in the 6'2", 6'3" frames.
Yes.
Including Asphysius Prysock. I didn't want him just because of his name.
Listen, just on the name alone, bro.
Just on the name. And then Tarico Davis, or Takaro Davis, or Tacario Davis.
Tacario Davis, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Both these guys are some bigger. And they got Chris Johnson, a DB from San Diego State, which I thought had a pretty good workout in the combine too.
Isn't Tacario Davis 6'4"?
They're both 6'2".
He's like 6'4".
Yeah,
he's a long, rangy dude, man.
Mm-hmm. So I like it. So we'll see what they do. And Antoine, Antoine's he's tired of these old ass people who are playing on their teams. There's some old guys there too, but I think Cam Hayward and like Ron were skewing that average age on the team, because there's a lot of young guys on here, but there are some positions, you are right, we do need to get younger, and I think they will. So you said we don't need to be a middle of the road team for another year. Let's look to the future for QB and other wide receiver talent. For a third receiver, I agree. I think the future QB talent, deep down, I think they hope Will Howard be the guy, but we just don't know if he will. All that, there's a lot of QB talent next year, a lot. And unfortunately, need is a terrible evaluator. There's so many teams that just reach for guys, and I don't want to see them do that just for the sake of doing that. And even if you miss on a quarterback in the first round, that's going to set you back a few years as well too. But I understand what you're talking about, Antoine. So, and he said we know Will Howard is not that. Listen, there are so many Will Howard haters out here. It is hilarious. I'm not saying this is my line. I'm not saying he is the guy. I'm just not saying he's not the guy. We'll see. We will see. I don't know if he is or not, but odds are he's probably not. But I just want to see it because I saw him. Will Howard. And you never know. Listen, he gets a year and maybe two with Ron with the mentals. We'll see. I still think quarterback is a 2027 look-see more than it is this year. So
what the funny thing is? That's exactly what the hell we were saying this time last year. Man, I can't wait till 2026. And the draft is going to be in Pittsburgh too. Oh man, we're going to get our guy. We got the picks to do it. Oh, it's going to be great.
See, then they all stayed in school because they're getting paid more money.
Yep.
How about that? How are you getting paid more money to stay in school than coming out in the NFL, man? Seriously. No, we do need to figure out the quarterback. So, Antoine, I am 100% with you. I'm not saying I'm not in a hurry. I just don't want to get a guy just to go get a guy, but we do need to get a guy. There's no doubt.
You don't want to go get Tanner Mackey, bro?
No. Well, I don't know where that shit comes from, bro. I am so glad that McKee's out. I'm so glad that Kyler Murray signed with the Vikings so quick. I am so glad all this shit happened. I'm just tired of it.
Get Mac Jones? No, Mac Jones?
I don't want to trade for Mac Jones either.
All right,
Anybody else? I don't want Kirk Cousins either.
No Kurt. No, we want Kirk
I didn't want Malik Willis unless.
What about Jacoby Briskets?
Isn't he gonna? No, isn't he gonna start in Arizona?
I just like to call him Briskets.
Hey, Briskets.
Yes, Briskets.
He's either the savior or a bum. The man hasn't even taken a snap in preseason yet. Nobody knows. Correct. Mark, I will say this because again, my thing, and we've had a couple of people, in the chats with on here as well as
it's
in
very
Twitter,
extreme,
saying that everybody falls in love. I don't know if Big Rel's watching in here or not, man. He'll come after me in a minute if he is. My man Big Rel brings it on Twitter. I love it. But it has nothing to do with what Will Howard did or what John Gruden said. I just formed my own opinion. I like the mental makeup of Will Howard. I love the fact that he was a winner in college. And if you guys notice, most successful quarterbacks in the NFL right now all had like 500 records in college, maybe with the exception of Joe Burrow, Jalen Hurts, that's it. Josh Allen.
Patrick Mahomes.
Patrick Mahomes had a losing record in college.
5-6.
Yeah, he had a losing record in college. So you don't have to blow the doors off. I just like a guy who's won 2 conference championships, a national championship, and he played his butt off in the playoffs. However, like Aaron Rodgers said, he's doing and saying all the right things. He has the makeup of a quarterback, but it is different once the bullets start flying.
And said it early, we'll say it again. The way that they're setting up the personnel, if the quarterback's the right guy, bro, it's just gonna, dude, we're just gonna keep moving. Like you understand? Like that's how excited I am about this potential roster in 2026.
Yeah,
and not knowing who the quarterback is going to be in 2027. Like I'm that confident in the roster because of how they're building the roster. And we got how much in cap room in 2027?
We got a lot.
120 what? 127? Is it
without 50, 60, 70 million of dead cap like some of these other teams?
Hello. Right.
Dolphins going from 170 to 58 million.
It is a filthy amount of cap space. It's over 100 million. I know that. I can't remember the exact. I want to say it was 127. That's the number I'm thinking. But the point I'm making is it's setting up to not have to, do all this master clickbait stuff that people talk about, like tanking for 2027 and wanting to, purposely stay in the middle of the road. That ain't what we trying to do.
Hey,
that ain't it.
That's what we're willing to take the L for this season and get the QB we want.
I don't agree with that.
No, you know what? Hey, Antoine, and here's why I disagree with that. Though I understand, you got to go get somebody high. I get that point. The Chiefs were 12-4 before they got Mahomes. They just traded up and got their guy.
Sure did.
But to your point, we got to go get our guy.
In front of us to get him too. Yeah. He's kind of mad about that.
Yeah, Antoine's point is we got to go get a guy, and I agree with that. I don't think you have to accompany that with a tank season.
I don't think you got a tank to do it.
Hold on, hey, Antoine. I want you to ask this guy how tanking for quarterbacks work.
What's up,
this
Jordan?
Hey, Jordan, much love for coming into the Steer chat, brother. I appreciate you. But listen, this guy knows tanking for quarterbacks does not work. This dude's an expert with the Browns, bro.
Shout out to all the Browns and the Jets fans.
Yeah, Cardinal fans.
They've been tanking for decades. They've been tanking for decades, bro. Make it make sense. They've been tanking for decades trying to get their right quarterback. That shit still ain't working. Make it make sense. No,
Jordan, appreciate you, brother. I love when people come into enemy territory, if you will, too. So
hey, he was like, Brown's coming for you. Hey, my last name is Brown, though.
I'll be in Pittsburgh for the draft round 1 when we draft the bus for Q&A. Hey, listen, we're gonna organize a Bird Cave meetup, man. Jordan, I gotta have a beer with you, brother. I appreciate that. If you can, if not, if you're underage, we'll have a Pepsi, Coke, whatever.
Go.
Hey,
you remember we got into that conversation about the Dolphins the other day.
Well, listen, I'm gonna get to that in a second, but again, you're stuck in the middle of the road. Listen, that's another whole issue as well, and you're correct. That's been a whole nother issue as well, is like delaying building post Ben. If you have old Ben, build around old Ben. There has been a lot of roster mismanagement, in my opinion, while we've been stuck in the middle. But I agree. Listen, we're all on the same page. I think we just got maybe different roads.
There's just not just one way to get back to winning. That's all. You have, yeah.
My man's 22, man. Hey, listen, I got mad respect for you, bro. We'll let that do a beer. He'll have his Shador jersey on. Okay. Hey, that's good, man. Listen, I can't wait for the draft. It's gonna be a good time. But how'd this work out? Tank for Tua.
Ooh.
But yeah. So I'm gonna give some light on this too, because
almost got Brian Flores kicked out the league, bro.
Right.
He almost didn't get didn't even get able to get a job after that. Thank you. Yeah. Thanks, Mike Tomlin. By the way.
So real quick as we get out of here, last little topic before we get out of here. We're about 1 hour and 17 in already. So I posted I did some on the Twitters, but I also posted on a Facebook page, which led to a fun rant, if you will, to the point where somebody's accusing me of hating on people just because they disagree with me, which was kind of fun. I basically said, if you guys remember, if you listen to the sports talk, the fans and everything, and I trust me, I understand this strategy. You got to hire a young offensive-minded coach.
That's what they said.
That's what they said. See Miami Dolphins. You must tank for a quarterback, pick high in the draft, have a losing season. See Miami Dolphins.
Mm-hmm.
You must invest in the offense, build around a young quarterback, give him weapons so you can succeed. See Miami Dolphins. Now the Miami Dolphins are $175 million in dead cap, and yet they're doing the right thing. The Miami Dolphins are the smartest, most unaccomplished team I have ever seen in my life. But yet, this is what the Steelers should do. But you just have a franchise that did everything to a T, and they haven't even won a playoff game in over 25 years. I think it's been, right. It's been a long time.
Who, the Dolphins?
Dolphins.
Listen,
it's been a while. So what I'm saying is,
the Dolphins haven't been in the Super Bowl, bro. They haven't been in the Super Bowl since 1984.
He was trash too, Antoine. You're all correct.
That was in 1984. How old were you, Dudek? in 1984. You know how old I was in 1984? I was 7 years old, bro.
I was 8.
Let that one marinate. I'm 48 freaking years old now. Like, let that marinate. Like,
but my point is,
they ain't doing it right.
We're not doing it right.
I'm saying that ain't it.
But what I'm saying is, like, the media and fans and sense. Now, listen, there could be other teams that have done it that way, because even McVay didn't draft a quarterback. He traded for Matt Stafford.
He sure
so
did.
You can't sit there and tell me he could develop a quarterback. Maybe he can, probably can, but we don't know. There's no set blueprint. Oh, by the way, he's young offensive mind coach. You had 2 defensive-minded head coaches in the Super Bowl.
And a bust quarterback named Sam Darnold. They called him. They said he was a bust.
That's what they called him.
That's what they said.
My point is, there's not a set way. And I have read that one stat to nauseate in the head. Nauseate. I can't talk anymore. The last 56 quarterbacks drafted in the first round, now 3 of them have won the Super Bowl. And that includes Sam Darnold from last year. 27, I forget, I think 37 of those 56 were picked in the top 10. It's far from guaranteed.
It's a
lot of money. But to Antoine's point, they got to go get their guy. But you got to be careful on how to go get your guy. It's not as easy as just doing what the Miami Dolphins did. They did everything to the script of today's NFL. Nailed them, nada. And by the way, that's a lot of pressure on Malik Willis. If he's not the guy,
Jesus,
then you got to reset again. Now, I will say this to Miami's credit: they are cleaning house and they're going to start over. I get that. So it's a new regime. Man, I would still take somewhat moderate success in the postseason, in the regular season, versus doing all that stuff and still not winning shit, and then having. Could you imagine this fan base if the Steelers were $175 million in dead cap?
All I know is, I hear fans, and I'm not saying Antoine. I'm just saying fans.
Antoine's bringing some good points.
Yeah,
Antoine's bringing really good points.
Some good points, but. All I know is this, okay? And I'm not saying that history's bound to repeat itself, but it's possible. All I know is anybody right now would do anything to have Jamie Dixon back in at Pitt right now.
Why are you making a left turn like that, bro?
Yeah, exactly. And you see where I'm going here. And because back at just 10 years ago, they was complaining about Jamie Dixon not being able to do stuff in the postseason and all that. Oh, we mediocre, this, that, and the other thing. We ain't doing that. Okay. And then he leaves. He didn't get fired. He left. He went to greener pastures. He was tired of hearing the noise, if you will, right? And then how's that been working out for the PIP program ever since? I got questions. And I'm not saying that's going to happen to the Steelers. I'm not saying that.
No.
But what I am saying is that you can never go year after year and thinking that the next year is going to just be, well, if we tank now, then this is going. It's too unpredictable. And if I give Art Rooney any credit, because I don't really give him a lot of it at all, but if I give him any credit, at least he says, "Look, we're trying to win this year." Yeah. And the next year, no, we're trying to win this year. And then the next year, no, we're trying to win this year. There's never a time where like, oh, we're just going to be rebuilding. Even the Penguins, God bless them, man. Even they're not even trying to rebuild. They're trying to make it work. You understand what I'm saying? Like,
and they hit on some of their young guys too. Yeah,
I don't subscribe to like, and if I was an owner or a GM, I wouldn't subscribe to that thinking either. I wouldn't subscribe to the way the fans think. No, I'm trying to win. First of all, my job's on the line. First and foremost, my job's on the line. I'm not trying to lose my job, Dudek. Okay?
Nope, not at all. Not at all. So, you know what? You're right, because if you have a year like Kansas City where they're injury riddled and you have losing season, that's one thing.
Right.
But I'm also don't everybody ever dare wish injuries on players either. But
no.
But yet, how are you going to go look T.J. Watts and the Cam Haywards and the OGs, even the young guys like Frazier, these guys saying, you know what, this year doesn't mean shit. Just go through the motions. Because you know what, that's how you do get hurt. So I do mind that. But going to get your quarterback is a need. That point is valid. There's just I just think there's a different way of going about it. You have the ammo to do it. And you never know, maybe it is a player next year plus picks to go get a guy. If who's that guy? Moore from Oregon comes out and he's your guy. Go get him. Go get him. If someone else, go get him. I can tell you right now, Ty Simpson is not that guy, at least not next year. He's not that guy. Maybe Nussmeier, but Nussmeier needs to sit.
I like Nussmeier.
Klubnik from Clemson, he'll need to sit.
Yeah.
If he's even any good in the pros. So there's definitely different avenues to go to get said quarterback, but it is loud and clear. Antoine brought up great points. We do need to go get the quarterback. You know what? I mean, listen, we're competitive, but yes, a lot of fans are kind of tired of just being competitive. They want to go win. We get that, but I don't think the prerequisite to win is a bad season.
You know what? But the other part to that is that you cannot order a quarterback from Amazon. Like,
no,
you just can't. It's just not. No. It's not.
No.
Furthermore, you cannot just hit the reset button on the game and start all over as a GM. That's not how this works.
Hey, that's because some of these fans used to pull the plug on the PlayStation.
Thank you.
We've all done that. I've done it many times myself. Like, wait a minute.
Like, this is real life, y'all.
Yeah.
this is real life. Like, it's not as simple as just word speak. Like, nah.
Yeah, and that's what happened. Like I said, the Dolphins trading everybody. I get they're doing it, man. But 175 million of over 50% of your cap is dead. I can't. Anyway, it is what it is, man. But listen, this has been a fun conversation, guys. We're about an hour and a half in. It's going on 10 o'clock. We get the hell out of here. But listen, I know over the next few weeks, we're definitely going to be draft heavy, talking Steelers draft. I think maybe the 13th and the 20th, GB, the last 2 Mondays before the draft, we'll do our mock drafts live. We want to have them. We're going to have some other fellows join us. We got to have an odd number of guys drafting with us so we can break ties and everything. But we would love for everybody to come back, join the Bird Cave on our mock drafts. We're going to call it the 13th and the 20th. We'll do it. We'll have some different scenarios we'll play out. I'm not into doing like 75 mock drafts. Maybe we'll do them back-to-back weeks. We'll play with some different scenarios. We'll play with trades. We'll do one where we don't trade. Let's just see what players fall. We'll run through a few scenarios. It'll be a lot of fun. We'd definitely like to hear everybody's feedback on the chat. We appreciate everybody hanging with us. It's been a lot of fun. GB, where can everybody here find you on your socials, brother?
Man, you can find me on Instagram at your_boy_GB. And you can find me on the Twitters at uppity_Yinzers.
Absolutely.
GB.
Hey, and tell them about Growing Up Brown, bro.
Oh, man, the Brown Bros podcast. We're having a lot of fun. Me and my brothers, Jay Brown, the chef, and Mr. Kenderson, a.k.a. AJ Big Boy. We bring up a lot of colorful topics and things that just bring up things from your youth and all types of good stuff, all types of fun. If you like to talk about movies, shows, television, music, hip-hop, R&B, that's the show for you. If you like to laugh, that's the show for you. You like to talk junk, that is the show for you. Brown Bros Podcast. We back on, I want to say it will be on Thursday at 8:30. Stay tuned on the Twitters.
Absolutely. Hey, and everybody coming in here, appreciate everybody hanging out again. If you haven't already, subscribe to the Bird Cave channel. Man, like, subscribe, share, comment, all that good stuff that helps the algorithms grow the channel. Follow me on the Twitters at Bird Cave. We really appreciate everybody. And don't forget, check out the Bird Cave's YouTube channel throughout this week. We had a couple other fellows that are local here. We did some Pirates Bucko talk, which I'll be on with GB and Jay Brown sometime here in the next few weeks to kind of give our Bucko previews as I think they kick off next week or later this weekend.
Thursday.
Thursday, a lot of cool things coming up for once for the Pirates baseball team. We've been dormant for far too long, but I think there's some excitement here. But I had some fellas come in, talk about the Pirates season. We kind of gave our record predictions, and as well as we had a little March Madness fun with some Pirates scenarios. What is more likely to happen? There were 16 scenarios, and my boy Big Tone made a bracket, and we went through and we just picked winners, and we figure out what's the most likely outcome of the Pirate season. That's all coming on the Bird Cave YouTube channel this week as well. But as always, we appreciate you. Hope you're back with us next Monday. We'll see you guys on the next one. Take care. Peace out. Go Steelers.
Peace out.